When a house is divided, even the foundation shakes. On Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, that proverb felt painfully real at the Ondo State APC secretariat in Akure. What was meant to be a routine stakeholders meeting to organize the party's ward congresses turned into a scene of violence, fear, and chaos. Ade Adetimehin, the state APC chairman, alongside several senior party leaders, was violently assaulted by suspected political thugs, leaving the party shaken and raising serious questions about the safety of political actors in Nigeria. In this video, we break down the incident, the context behind the attack, and what it signals about political governance, party control, and the wider culture of impunity in Nigeria. If you care about accountability, security, and political integrity, tap like and subscribe. It is only through awareness that citizens can hold both politicians and the security apparatus accountable. The attack reportedly began when armed hoodlums stormed the secretariat during the scheduled stakeholders meeting. Witnesses described the assailants as carrying machetes, sticks, and even firearms. Panic ensued as party members scrambled for safety, some climbing fences, others fleeing the building entirely. Chairman Ade Adetimehin later described being beaten blue-black, dragged on the floor, and stripped of personal items including 2 mobile phones, a watch wrist, and 210,000 naira in cash. Other prominent figures, including the NDDC representative Otito Atikase and former Commissioner Saka Yusuf Ogunleye, sustained injuries during the rampage. The scene, as reported by multiple sources, including The Guardian Nigeria, was chaotic, with party leaders unable to protect themselves while the attackers carried out the assault. Those present at the meeting pointed fingers at the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, specifically members led by State Chairman Ademola Odudu. According to victims, the thugs openly declared their loyalty to a political figure, chanting that the governor owns the party, and attempting to intimidate the meeting into cancelling the ward congresses. Such claims, if true, suggest that political violence is being deployed not just for personal gain, but as a tool to consolidate control over party structures, undermining the democratic process within political parties themselves. The Ondo State government quickly responded to the allegations, issuing a strong denial. Commissioner of Information Idowu Ajanaku dismissed the claims as malicious and unfounded, emphasizing that Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa had no prior knowledge of the attack and was not connected in any way to the incident. The police confirmed the disruption and stated that tactical teams were deployed to restore order. Yet, the mere fact that such a violent disruption could occur at a party secretariat raises concerns about both political ethics and public safety in the state. To understand why this incident is so significant, it is essential to contextualize it within broader patterns of political violence in Nigeria. Across multiple states, internal party disputes often escalate into physical confrontations. Leaders vying for influence within party structures sometimes rely on thugs or coercive groups to enforce their control, leaving ordinary party members and party officials vulnerable. In this case, the stakes were reportedly tied to upcoming ward congresses, which determine local party representation, leadership, and influence in future elections. The use of force to sway internal party outcomes reflects a worrying trend in Nigeria's politics, where might often supersedes legal process or democratic norms. This incident also underscores a recurring problem across the country: the overlap between politics and organized groups that have the capacity to use violence. NURTW, a nationwide union that is ostensibly meant to regulate transport and protect drivers, has frequently been accused of involvement in political thuggery. While unions play an essential role in organizing labor, their weaponization in political contests creates an environment where ordinary citizens, party officials, and even elected leaders face personal risk. The aftermath of the attack has sparked heated debate. Among party members and stakeholders, the immediate concern is how to restore internal cohesion and prevent future violence. Many argue that the current power struggle in Ondo APC has exposed the fragility of internal governance and the ease with which external actors can manipulate party structures. Chairman Ade Adetimehin and other senior leaders are now faced with the dual task of healing the organizational fractures caused by the assault while also pursuing accountability for those responsible. Beyond the state-level implications, this incident mirrors a wider trend of selective enforcement and political bias in Nigeria. Citizens across the country often observe that violence, intimidation, or malpractices are handled inconsistently depending on who is involved or which region is affected. In Ondo, the attacks are being linked to internal power consolidation. Elsewhere, across northern and southeast Nigeria, the perception is that some politicians or regional actors can circumvent accountability entirely. Northern elites, for example, have frequently been accused of negotiating with armed bandits or freeing individuals linked to terrorism and mass kidnappings without the same scrutiny or consequences. Meanwhile, Igbo political actors like Nnamdi Kanu remain imprisoned for actions primarily linked to political activism rather than direct violence, reinforcing perceptions of ethnic bias in federal dealings. The intersection of party politics, state enforcement, and ethnic perceptions creates a combustible environment. Citizens are increasingly aware that political competition is not just about policies or ideology, but about control, power, and, in some cases, the capacity to intimidate rivals. This diminishes public trust in both political parties and government institutions, making it difficult to achieve the stability needed for economic progress and democratic consolidation.
In Ondo State, the assault timing is particularly consequential. With ward congresses set to influence the composition of the state's party machinery, any disruption directly impacts candidate selection, future elections, and local governance outcomes. If violent tactics succeed in changing internal outcomes, it sets a precedent that force can substitute for debate, negotiation, or lawful contestation. Citizens watching from outside the party structure may conclude that participation is dangerous or meaningless unless backed by physical power. It is also important to note the human cost. Beyond the loss of personal property and injuries sustained by party leaders, the psychological toll on those involved and the broader membership cannot be ignored. When leaders are beaten in front of colleagues, it instills fear and discourages active participation in governance. This is a subtle but powerful method of political suppression, effectively silencing voices that might challenge entrenched power. In response, many observers are calling for immediate legal and institutional interventions. Investigations must identify not only the individuals who carried out the attack, but also the sponsors, financiers, or facilitators who made the assault possible. Only through clear accountability can party members regain confidence that internal politics will be governed by rules, not by muscle. Moreover, the police and security agencies must demonstrate impartiality, ensuring that no faction within the party is allowed to intimidate or coerce others. The Ondo State APC assault, like other violent political incidents in Nigeria, is a reminder that democracy requires more than periodic elections. It demands functioning institutions, internal party democracy, citizen trust, and a security environment where disagreements can be resolved without fear of bodily harm. Until these structures are strengthened, incidents like Tuesday's attack will continue to threaten political stability and erode public confidence. In conclusion, the February 17, 2026 assault on Chairman Adetimehin and other party leaders at the Ondo State APC secretariat is more than an isolated outbreak of violence. It reflects deep-seated issues in Nigerian politics, including the weaponization of unions, internal party power struggles, selective accountability, and the perception of federal and regional bias in governance. The attack exposes the vulnerabilities of political actors, the fragility of institutional enforcement, and the continuing risk of violence in everyday political operations. For democracy to thrive in Ondo State and across Nigeria, both party leadership and security agencies must act decisively to ensure that elections, congresses, and political processes are governed by law, fairness, and respect for human life. The key questions now are clear. Who ordered this assault, and will those responsible face impartial justice? Can internal party democracy survive when threats of violence determine outcomes? And most importantly, will citizens feel safe participating in political processes, knowing that thugs may be deployed to settle disputes? The answers to these questions will determine whether this incident is a turning point for accountability or yet another reminder of the dangerous interplay between politics and force in Nigeria. As the proverb reminds us, when a house is divided, even the foundation shakes. Ondo State APC must rebuild, not through fear, but through justice, transparency, and adherence to democratic norms. Subscribe to follow developments, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Because in Nigeria, the way we handle political violence today sets the tone for governance tomorrow.